I'll have a sugar-free vanilla non-fat cappuccino.
You've been here 26 hours. Go home.
All right, I'll have you know I'm completely capable of meeting men on my own.
Is there anything I can do to make you feel more comfortable today?
Marry me?
Let's decrease his morphine drip. You're so lucky that all you have to worry about is work.
It's just a month-to-month sublet. Some kind of tragedy in the family.
What are you doing?
Hello?
So what kind of encounter did you have?
Connor? Whoa! Whoa!
There's nothing worth stealing here.
I live here.
You can't live here because I live here. Are you seeing things that aren't quite real to you?
Go away, you don't exist. It's one of those dreams and you know you're dreaming.
Get out!
Another one, my.
I've been sort of seeing someone that's not there.
You mean she's emotionally unavailable?
You are.
I can't remember.
How is it that I can see her and no one else can?
Righteous.
I know it's crazy. She's right here with us right now.
Could you just hold on just a sec?
Get the hell out of here, you freak!
The apartment upstairs, it belonged to a young woman.
I don't know of a single date that she'd ever been on.
She was like a cat lady without any cats.
She's a little dog.
God knows she wasn't dating anybody.
Does everybody have to rub it in?
This fall,
Oh my god, you totally violated me!
You know, it wasn't that pleasant for me either.
DreamWorks Pictures presents the story of two people finding each other
I'm sensing some pretty intense feelings she has for you, bro. Really?
between the here and the hereafter.
I think if you could ever really touch me, I might wake up from all of this.
Reese Witherspoon, Mark Ruffalo, and Napoleon Dynamite's John Heder.
I'm like 99.9% parched here. Could really use a cola.
Just like heaven.
Is there a doctor here? Excuse me, pardon me.
What's wrong with him?
It's attention pneumothorax.
I think it's attention pneumothorax.
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 Pneumothermin.
Never mind.
Never mind.
And welcome back to the Movie Hero Network. This is Wheel of Movies, episode number 60, if you can believe it. We've gone through 60 of these bad boys. We are talking about 2005's Just Like Heaven, starring Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon. I am Austin Pez Howell, and welcome back from his little vacation. Joining me here tonight, Mr. Richie Goodacre. How's it going, Richie?
Yeah, no, good to be back. Yeah, and you know, I'm glad I came back from vacation. We had and I saw something that was a bit light. You know, I don't want to come back. And
Nothing too heavy, right? Yeah,
too heavy on me. So yeah, no, and you know, it's a fun rewatch. So no, good to be back, and you know, good to be back talking movies, getting back into the swing of things. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, we're kind of doing a movie that I'm probably responsible for being on the wheel, if I had to guess, because I think this might have been like one of my wild cards or something at one point to throw on the wheel of movies. You know, to me, it's just a movie, and we'll kind of talk about our history of this movie. But you know, it's one that I saw in the theaters, and I've just always kind of liked. I don't like or love a whole lot of rom-coms, but like there was something about this one I just thought was very kind of charming and entertaining about it. And you know, I've just come back to it every now and then. So I threw it on there, and what do you know? We spun it. But you know what? Hey, it is February now. It's the month of love, you know. So why not do a rom-com? And it's kind of, maybe it's a little poetic. We spun one, you know, for the month.
Yeah, it's close enough to Valentine's Day, and so yeah, and yeah, I don't know if I'm not sure. You know, we'll talk about it. I don't know if we'll do it. You know, and necessarily rom-com for like Valentine's Day. But fortunately, we have other tribute episodes to do.
Yeah, while Richie was gone, I think we had one we might have to do a tribute episode for. We'll talk about it. Unfortunately, we don't get much of a reprieve from the tribute episodes because yeah, there was a fairly big one as Richie was gone. So we haven't formally talked about it, but we have kind of an idea of at least, you know, a few options. So we'll talk about that at the end of the episode. Maybe we'll hash it out on there. We'll see. But yeah, as far as this movie, we'll just get a few facts out of the way, and then we'll start kind of talking about the movie and our history with it. Just Like Heaven, released September 16th, 2005, directed by Mark Waters. And yes, the credit actually on the trailer was true. He is the director of Freaky Friday and Mean Girls, so two pretty big hits in a row for Mr. Waters. Two very successful movies there. And then he does this one and some other noteworthy stuff, actually. He's had a pretty steady career. He did the Spiderwick Chronicles, a movie I've always kind of championed. I thought it was a pretty fun little family movie.
Is that on here too? I mean, I could see that being on here as like a
I think I might have put it on as a wild card or something. Yeah, it's probably on there somewhere. But yeah, I like that movie. I did Ghost of Girlfriend's Past, the Matthew McConaughey rom-com. Yeah, Jennifer Gardner movie. I did Mr. Popper's Penguins with Jim Carrey. He did Vampire Academy. I know that the movie has a following to it as well.
I think that's like the first, like the early film of I think it's Anya Taylor-Joy in the movie. I think it's one of the first. I don't know. I can't. What either that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Thinking of that. Yeah, it was like the first time I saw her, when she sort of blew up. So yeah.
He does Bad Santa 2, but not Bad Santa 1. So he took Bad Santa 2. Yeah. And then he took a kind of a streaming sort of detour, and that's what he's been doing the last 5 or 6 years. He did a Disney plus original movie called Magic Camp, kind of like a band camp type thing.
It's just like an amalgamation of all the other Disney films back then, Rock Band, was it
Rock Camp or whatever it was? Yeah, stuff like that. So, he did one of those, and then he's been on kind of a Netflix run. So doing stuff for Netflix. He did He's All That, not She's All That, but the He's All That for Netflix.
The Taraji P. Henson movie.
Yes. The kind of swapped thing from there. He did a movie called Mother of the Bride for Netflix.
He just does spin-offs.
It's the Father of the Bride. He did Mother of the Bride. His most recent thing was last year called La Dolce Via. I don't know if it's a Scott Foley movie. You remember from Scream 3? We talked about him. Yeah. So the movie, and then his next project will be coming out this year. He's doing a biopic called Hershey about the guy who invented the Hershey chocolate company. So so I don't know if that's theatrical or like a streaming movie, but yeah, he's got a movie coming out this year called Hershey. So there you go. But about
that would have fit well in a couple of years ago when all those biopics were coming out about the making of
those real business movies. Yeah, kind of cluster. Yeah, I mean, I think we're still getting a few of those on the way. I know there's a one produced by Spielberg about the Coke and Pepsi cola wars coming out pretty soon. I've always said they should do one. I've always said they should do one about the 90s video game wars between Nintendo and Sega and PlayStation and stuff. I think that'd be kind of fun. Something to that degree. I think you could do even just Nintendo and Sega, late 80s, early 90s, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, all that kind of stuff. I think that could be a lot of fun. I think that'd be all right. But anyways, September 16, 2005, budget of $58 million seems a little high for this movie, even in 2005, just because the movie doesn't.
Because
I don't know, it doesn't look that expensive.
Mark Ruffalo wasn't a big star then, so he probably wouldn't get that. He wouldn't ask for that.
Reese was, but I still couldn't see her getting paid more than $3 to $5 million, right? Something like that. Not too much for this one. Like you said, Ruffalo. I only knew him before this from I guess 13 going on 30. Maybe, or Eternal Sunshine. He done a few things.
I forget that he's also in Collateral, the Tom Cruise movie. He's
he had a busy 04. He had 4 movies in 2004, so you're starting to kind of break out. But people also forget he was kind of a rom-com guy for a little while because he's in Rumor Has It, and he's in Reservation Road, or not necessarily rom-coms, but kind of romance guy for a little while. With a few other things, and then I think once the 2010s start, he kind of. He does Shutter Island, and he did Zodiac in the late 2000s, things like that. So he kind of starts to become more dramatic. But yeah, he was kind of like a romantic leading man for a little short period of his career, for what it was. But yeah, the movie itself, and there's not that many locations in this. I know they shot in San Francisco for real, but most of it takes place in that one apartment or at the hospital, like, or at the bar. There's not like sprawling locations for this movie, either. Most of it kind of is a very contained movie. So, yeah, was there like a money laundering scheme for this one for Paramount? Something going on? It seems a little high for this movie.
Yeah, I have no idea. Unless, like, they were actually staying in, sort of building sets. They were staying in actual, like, for like apartments that it cost like heaps. The rent cost heaps. I don't know. I'm not sure with the. Yeah, it seems a bit. Yeah, it seems a bit crazy for what is essentially. It's kind of got the feel. I don't know. It could be like this whole premise could be an indie movie. You know what I mean?
I know. I feel like you could. Yeah, somebody could make the same movie for like $10 million, unless some of it went into like. I mean, I know there's some special effects, but it's nothing that they didn't do in like 1990 for Ghost Dad. It's like the same.
Or the movie I was getting wiped off was the Meryl Streep, Goldie Hawn.
Death Becomes Her. Yeah.
Death Becomes Her. Yeah, that's what I was getting.
That one has way more advanced special effects than this movie. Most of this is just Reese Witherspoon, is sitting inside a refrigerator, or puts her hand through the phone, or falls through a wall. But that's like terribly special effects. Like the special effects have been going on for decades. So that seems, nothing groundbreaking. I don't know. The budget seemed high when I looked that up, but it is what it is. So 58 million, box office of 102 million. So may have scraped by, broke even a little bit. Maybe some cable sales here and there.
These days they'll be like, oh, it broke even or enough. We'll try and do a sequel, even though it's not a sequel type movie.
Yeah.
But they'll try. Or she gets hit by the same truck. No,
no. It would just be the flip. It would be Mark Ruffalo has like a near death experience, and he becomes the ghost for a little while, and she's dealing with him. It would just be something silly like that, or just whatever. it would just be something lazy. I don't have a few like trivia notes for this because it's not one of those types of movies that has like a ton of trivia notes or behind the scenes information. It's just not one of those movies. A lot of people have a lot about. It is based on a novel called "If Only It Were True." It's a French novel that the studio bought the rights to, and apparently nobody who wrote this movie read the novel, so I have no idea how close to it is whatsoever. It seems like sometimes they just buy a book for like a general premise or an idea, so the author gets paid and then they just kind of use it, and then they change whatever they need for the movie, which is fine. I mean, there's plenty of movies that are based on a book that change lots of things for the movie. That's not terribly unusual, and sometimes for the better, i.e. Jaws or Jurassic Park, things like that. It happens.
Did you ever see? There's also reminds me of a really sort of bad. This is called it's a Jason Biggs movie called Over My Dead Body.
Never seen that one. No.
It's really bad, but I guess it's sometimes you just get the general premise, but it's a French book, but sort of I didn't like. I don't know. It's interesting that they didn't even bother to. The 14. Did they read even read a page? Like, we got the general gist.
We read the back of the book on the synopsis on the back. We're good to go. We'll just use that. Co-screenwriter Leslie Dixon. Actually, her old apartment is the one they shoot most of the apartment stuff in. So that's an apartment she used to rent. So they just rented it out. And so it's not even a set. It's an actual real apartment. Pretty spacey one they used for that. Everything else is either kind of sets or they felt shot in a hospital, kind of at some after hours for some of those sequences. The title is based on a Cure song from 1987 with the Just Like Heaven. I think they played a little bit of it in the trailer. You can kind of hear it. And then there was another weird thing I found when I was digging through the history of this movie. This movie, the release of this one, helped dispel an old internet urban legend from like 2005. This is like early internet nonsense, in the early 2000s. But there was an urban legend, believe it or not, Richie, that John Heder had died after Napoleon Dynamite, that he was dead. And people were like speculating that he was just no longer with us. Like he's this guy that made this movie and then just I guess, had died. One of those early like weird celebrity death rumors. But it is
because it took a while for him to get another gig, but I mean, it wasn't that.
I don't know. It's only a year after, so it's not that long. I don't know where it came from. But this is before the days of like, Twitter, Instagram, something like that, where somebody could dispel it, very quickly. And then, but the movie's release of this and the subsequent, press tour helping to dispel that, where he was like, "No, I'm not dead. I'm doing press for just like him in this movie I'm in coming out. So I'm very much alive." But just one of those weird, like early, internet death rumors. It was very, very strange.
But
so we looked that up.
I did find it funny because I guess he's like a new sort of breakout actor at this point. So that that they're saying who's in it? That Reese Witherspoon, Mark Ruffalo, and Napoleon Dynamite's.
Yeah, they don't just say John Heater. They make sure they mention that it's Napoleon Dynamite, because that movie was like, kind of an indie hit, and they have to mention that, which you notice they don't say that for like, what is it, School for Scoundrels or like Blades of Glory or anything like that. They don't go like, and Napoleon Dynamite's John Heater, they just say John Heater at that point. But this was during the kind of very, what was it? What would you say? Maybe 5 years we got of like kind of heavy John Heater, and then he really kind of trails off for a little while. I mean, would you say?
I feel like after Blades of Glory, he kind of disappears, or maybe he did something else.
Because he has. Okay, so let's run this down real quick. We got time, because this movie's not terribly heavy on plot. We can breeze through it pretty quickly. But he's got the Benchwarmers with Rob Schneider. Which I remember he does a voice in Monster House, and he did School for Scoundrels all in 2006. So he's kind of everywhere in 2006. And then he's got a decent amount in 2007 as well. He has Blades of Glory. He does a voice in Surf's Up, the Shia LaBeouf movie. He's got a very small role in a movie called Movie McAllister, and a movie called Mama's Boy. Kind of much smaller things. He's in that movie When in Rome with Kristen Bell and Josh Duhamel. He's in a movie called Life Happens. And then this is really just where it kind of falls off, because he's in things, but he's doing like, if you look it up, Richie, he's doing like voices for like random animated movies that like never came out, or something. Yeah.
One of the more random things I know of is he voices a horse in a Pinocchio film with Pauly Shore as Pinocchio.
Yeah, so he filmed that in 2012, and it didn't release until 2018. So I mean, he's in like, a voice in a movie called Bling, a voice in a movie called Huevos, just all these random like animated movies that never came out. So I guess he was just taking whatever kind of gigs he could get. To be fair, he's in that Tremors Shrieker Island, the most recent Tremors movie from 2020, which I have seen, where he took over for Jamie Kennedy there. And actually he's done 2 Pinocchio movies. So I'm sorry, it was one Italian one and one Russian one. So there's 2 of them. And then the most recent thing is he is in that movie Waltzing with Brando, where Billy Zane is playing Marlon Brando. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently he has a supporting role in that. So
okay, interesting. That I did see that my local library has that latest Tremors movie, and I was intrigued.
It's fine. It's kind of like all the other Tremor sequels. It's fine. So I mean, he's been like working, but I did notice that most recently. And they even rolled through my town of Asheville. They, him and what's his name? He played Pedro, and the director have been doing like a tour of Napoleon Dynamite. They did for like the 20th anniversary. They were doing like, the thing where they tour and like show the movie and then do like a Q&A and, intros and all that kind of stuff, kind of a Napoleon Dynamite live situation. So yeah, they've been touring with that. So, that's a thing.
Yeah. Because I feel like Jared Hess, like the director, and he sort of like he had a couple of things, but he sort of blew up. Like he kind of got a second win recently because he directed Minecraft, didn't he? Pretty sure that was
he just directed Minecraft, which made like almost $1 billion. So he might be back in the game now for directing a movie. Yeah, apparently, when you make $1 billion and they've already greenlighted a sequel, which I'm assuming he's going to be doing too. So he might be like all of a sudden kind of back in it when his last movie was an animated thing called Thelma the Unicorn, which also had John Heder in it. And the one before that was the 2016 movie Masterminds, the Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, yeah, that's not very good.
Kristen Wiig movie. Yeah. So, I mean, he hasn't had like a crazy career. And then all of a sudden, like 10 years after Masterminds, he directs Minecraft and it makes $1 billion. So, I mean, I guess good on Jared Hess, that he got that gig. So he's back in Hollywood. So, interesting little kind of turn of events there. And I'll do the box office real quick, and then we'll kind of get into the movie here. As far as the box office, other things that were around in September of 2005, big smash hit. I forgot how big it was. Exorcism of Emily Rose, making a ton of money in September. That movie was bigger than you might have remembered.
I remember that being more of a courtroom drama than I was expecting.
It is a courtroom drama. Yes, it is. And then there's just like flashbacks of the exorcism during the courtroom stuff. It's a strange movie. Very, very strange movie. Because when I think exorcism movies, I think courtroom for sure. It's a weird movie. 40-Year-Old Virgin, big hit this month. I remember seeing that in theaters. Very packed theater when I saw that movie. Making a lot. The Transporter 2, which is good, but not as good as the first one. Not bad. Fun for what it is. Flight Plan. Remember the Jodie Foster movie, Flight Plan?
Yeah. Where she somehow loses her daughter on the plane, and then
on the plane. And it turns out there's like weird alien people or something. Like it has one of the weirdest little like kind of third act, bizarre third act things ever.
Like half the crew are in on it, and it's fucking weird.
It's a weird movie. It's kind of bizarre. You got The Constant Gardener, kind of will become an Oscar movie. Then Corpse Bride, the Tim Burton animated film. You've got two very underrated movies from 2005. I will say Red Eye, the Wes Craven movie with Cillian Murphy. Rachel McAdams, a good little thriller. And Lord of War. I know, have you seen Lord of War, right? With Nick Cage?
Nick Cage, is it Jared Leto's in the movie, right, too?
Jared Leto, Nick Cage, Ethan Hawke. Really good movie about him becoming like an arms dealer. Really fun movie. Really good stuff. The Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger and Matt Damon. And then you got a few things. Interesting two pieces of things, Richie, to show you what kind of legs movies still had in 2005. You had a June release still in the top box office September with March of the Penguins making a ton of money. And still hanging around.
Made a lot of money. I guess people like Penguins and Morgan Freeman's voice, because they had a sequel too. And then it opened in July, but was still hanging around in the top of the box office. 2 months later, Wedding Crashers doing quite well. I've probably seen that movie more than any other. Probably more than like most other comedies. And it's weird because I wouldn't call it my favorite movie, but it's definitely up there. It's just an easy watch. So I get why.
Fathom Events did a 20th anniversary last year for it, so I didn't get a chance to go back and watch it in theaters. But comedy was booming around then. So 40-Year-Old Virgin, Wedding Crash, two comedies we're still talking about today, for sure. And then one other quick underrated shout out movie that came out and didn't do a lot of money at the box office, but I've always recommended History of Violence, the David Cronenberg movie. Great movie. If you haven't seen it, that movie rules. That movie's great. So please go check that out if you haven't. But let's get into Just Like Heaven. I'll talk about it real quick. I kind of touched on it, but I saw it in theaters in 2005. And again, just kind of on a whim, just I think I was doing like a little movie marathon or something at the theater, just kind of hopping around. And sat down and watched it. Just thought it was kind of more fun than it sort of had any right to be. Pretty decent for what it was. And this is one I've gone back to a couple times, and I've always found very charming. But had you seen this movie before? And if so, how many times?
I've seen it. This is only my second viewing. I saw it at the theater. I saw it, when it came out. But it wasn't like, like when I don't know how old I've been, like 16, 17, like 15, 16. I wouldn't like. I wasn't. I was always in that sort of mindset where I'd see everything. So it's not like a whole bunch of people would be like convinced, all my friends were like, "Hey, let's see Just Like Heaven." So I think I like got it. One weekend when I wasn't doing anything, I just caught a taxi for myself and saw it by myself. And I was pleasantly surprised how I gelled with it and actually quite liked it. And I don't. Yeah, it's surprising how I haven't. It's taken me this long to go back to it, but yeah, it's a charming film, and yeah, it's written really well, and yeah, I enjoy it. So yeah, but no, I like. Yeah, and I do like that I have that mindset of seeing everything, seeing most things. Yeah, we both have those kind of movies that are like, yeah, I don't know if it's my thing, so probably won't, but like, don't know if I'll be rushing out to see Wuthering Heights, for example, but
well, I'll be seeing that because Rhonda really wants to see it, so I'm gonna see it. But I told her, hey, you enjoy it. If I snooze in the theater, no big deal. You watch it. I mean, that's we have Regal Unlimited, so we have like the subscription, thing. So we go probably once or twice a week to the movies and see almost everything. So even she saw over 100 movies last year just because I saw well over 100. So I'm the same way. I'll go watch just about anything. I like going to the movies. So it's fun.
But it's having that mindset, you broaden your horizons, and you're like, oh yeah, I have way more like top movies than I would have back then. I don't know what my top movies would have been back then. I would have just been sort of blockbuster, very off, like very sort of my demographic type movies, and not spreading your horizons. So I'm glad I'm like that. But and that sort of paid off with Just Like Evan. It's it's a solid film. So
let's kind of breeze through and talk about it. Again, it's not like a super heavy plot. It's fairly familiar, but it's a thing where Reese Witherspoon is a doctor, kind of a workaholic. She works very long hours, kind of doesn't want to leave. She just kind of wants to hang out because she doesn't have much of a social life. So she, her social life kind of revolves, around her job. Most of the people she interacts with are at her job. She doesn't date. She doesn't, talk to family that much. Things like that. So she's kind of overworked. But she gets in a car crash and we don't know sort of what happens to her. It's revealed later, just kind of jumping ahead, that she's not actually dead. I referenced Ghost Dad earlier, which is not a great movie with Bill Cosby, but it's a similar situation. If you remember that movie where they think he's dead, but he's actually just like he's like in a coma, sort of a thing, and he's like projection is out there. It's kind of a similar thing.
It's almost in the between phase, like he might die. It's in that in that sort of between phase. It's weird. It is weird. Like apparently she'd be in there for working for 26 hours. It's like you're showing no signs of particular. I guess she's just hyped up on coffee all the time. But
but I could tell you from experience, man. And I've worked some very long hours in my job. I remember we were about to get hit with a hurricane in Florida when I was still working at my grocery store, that I work at now. But when I was back in Florida, man, I worked I swear about 40 hours in about a day and a half or something like that, or whatever it was, or 2 days. And you get to a point though where caffeine doesn't help you. You just hit a wall, it doesn't matter how much caffeine you pound into your body. If your body is exhausted, you're exhausted. It just kind of is what it is. It's not going to perk you up.
They did say she slept at one point. So they did say she was fell asleep in the break room or something. So
but even then, what, for 15 minutes, you know what I mean?
That's a nap.
I know some hospitals, some that do have kind of crazy centers like that where doctors do work and nurses do work long hours. Some of them do have shower areas, locker areas, and even cots, where people can get a quick nap. I know that's not an unusual thing, for nurses and doctors, where if they end up working long hours, they can take an extended break, and actually snooze, in a room. So it's not that, far-fetched, but when we see her, she's literally just got her head down on the table, sort of a thing. She's not laying down for a nap. But so go ahead.
I like the interaction she had with the old guy. It's like, will you marry me? I have my own bus pass.
She's like, of course I'll marry you. Yes, right away. You just kind of have to play her along with the dementia patient, and she's got a few kind of character actors sort of surrounding her at the hospital. So always fun to see people we kind of recognize. But she gets into the car accident, and then we actually cut to 3 months later. So we don't know what happened. We kind of assume, something major happened, but we don't really get an update per se. And we run into Ruffalo, who's kind of taking over her apartment, so he's moving in, and then shortly after he kind of moves in, he's kind of would you call him an alcoholic? Because he does only kind of drink beer most of the time, around I could get a beat on him. Like if he was an alcoholic, or if when he drank a lot. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I think it's probably like should call him out, but like my dad, I won't call him an alcoholic, but if he drinks, he likes to drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, or just sort of like maybe because he drinks because he's obviously portrayed as sort of a bit of a loner, and and sort of maybe So I don't know, like it's sort of implied that he might have an issue, but I don't know if it's that serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just he's just kind of a mess. Like when he does drink, he just leaves cans everywhere. He just leaves kind of your typical like pizza boxes and garbage all over the place, and whatnot. But yeah, after hanging out for a little while, he eventually runs into Reese Witherspoon. Every time you see her in the movie, she's wearing the same outfit she was wearing that day. It's like this kind of black and red sort of business suit sort of a thing, and she wears it for pretty much the entire movie, but she starts popping up and he thinks it's like a alcohol hallucination, essentially, that he keeps just doing. He's not sober. He'll sober up and she'll go away, but she keeps kind of popping up, and she's complaining that what are you doing, the typical, what are you doing in my apartment, this is my apartment, get your cans off of the coffee table, you're gonna make a stain, do this, do that. But she at first only kind of pops in and out for like a minute at a time. Like she'll pop up and then kind of disappear. I wonder what this process is. Was it like she was in a coma and then eventually projected, and now she's like sort of just now starting to materialize? Like I'm not exactly sure how this process works. Yeah.
I'm not hopefully sure either. Now, was her his spirit was just looming around the house sort of thing. So it could have been, it could have attached itself to anybody who subletted the apartment. I don't know, or it just was it faked that it went to Mark Ruffalo. Did we ever find out who she was getting set up on a date with? Was it gonna I thought maybe I thought potentially it could have been him. That this kind of the coincidental thing,
right? It was because they were supposed to go on a date. Now they're attached. Yeah, so sort of that sort of thing. But it's not really explicit, is it? It's kind of maybe implied that was a thing. But then again, we don't really know how they would have known each other beforehand, or unless it's just supposed to. They mentioned something about a blind date, like it was both their parties kind of setting them up or something. I think, right. So I watched the movie like a month ago. I think it's just to rewatch it. I actually coincidentally just watched this like a month ago with Rhonda, and just because it had come up on Tournament Fights a couple times, so we rewatched it. So I'm a little fuzzy on some of the dialogue details, but I remember most of the plot. But I believe it's supposed to be like my big case, where they were supposed to go on a date or something, before it got kind of smashed, literally with the car. So maybe that's why she's attached when he moves in. But he tries to kind of help her, once she kind of starts to materialize a little more, frequently, and for longer times, not just like, a minute here, a minute there. She of course, like all ghosts do, they deny that they're dead, of course, or anything's wrong with them. No, of course not. I'm alive. What do you mean? I'm right here. And then towards a somewhat of an acceptance, and then trying to figure out both what happened to her and like who she is, because she can't remember her name. She can't remember any of her past details or her life, of anything that happened, which would be kind of freaky. You're there, something happened to you, but you have no idea even who you are, like your own name.
And of course, because it's a rom-com, that they do go you have to go through that period where they're at each other's throats. They can't stand each other. Like
Oh yeah, they're throwing stuff at each other. Yeah, they're yelling and screaming. Yeah, they're just every interaction is just I hate you, you're a slob, you're a bitch, that sort of thing. It's just the back and forth of the shows. You have to do that at the beginning. It means they love each other, Richie, and they're falling for each other, of course.
Yeah, there's that scene where like she's keeps interjecting at the bar with him and Donald Logue. Remember Donald Logue was in everything?
Donald Logue was in everything for a while, and he hasn't done a whole lot since then. What's Donald Logue been up to? Let's take it because everybody knows him. He's the guy from Blade. He was in Blade. But I mean, to be fair, I think he's mostly been doing TV, more than actual movies. But yeah, I mean, he did Blade, he did like Runaway Bride, Reindeer Games. I mean, he was in a lot of things for a while. American Splendor. He was also in Zodiac with Mark Ruffalo, I guess, in a brief role. He's in Ghost Rider. He was in stuff for a minute. We just saw him in Shark Night 3D. Me and Wolfman, we did a drinking game to that recently. So, he's like a backwoods sheriff guy in that movie. He turns out to be a bad guy. So I mean, he's been like steadily acting. But he had a recurring role on Law and Order SVU. He had a recurring role on Vikings. He had a main role on Gotham. He was Harvey Bullock on Gotham, that kind of DC show. So I mean, he's been working, just he never became like, a big star. Kind of stayed basically a character actor essentially.
Yeah. That's that scene where like they kept they couldn't stop arguing, but like obviously Donald Logue can't see,
Right.
so he's just from his perspective, he's just kind of like, oh, you're mentally ill, all right, fair enough. But, there's we can get you into a psych ward, and then get it's so you there's a lot of periods of like weird misunderstanding. And there's all I like the what is it like they just happen to be in an area where some guy, I guess he's like, is he having a heart attack? You see in the trailer.
He's having some kind of issue, where he's got like extra air in his lungs or something, where he has to have like a procedure, and she kind of she's in the air like talking him through it, and he he's trying to act like he knows what he's doing, but he's fumbling over himself for his own. It's not a bad little scene, and it's kind of when they first start to have kind of like a moment together, where they realize they can at least help people or do stuff to their advantage. And then at some point in the movie they go and visit Daryl, who is the John Heder character, who's like kind of a spiritual, he's kind of a spiritual hippie, kind of guy. He's into kind of the all the spirit stuff. But man, I just remember seeing this movie, and this is around the time, Richie, if you remember, where every other movie was trying to like push a catchphrase, like make a catchphrase happen. Do you remember this like phase of movies? Bruce Almighty tried to do this too, where they try to like, let's have a character say something over and over and over again with the righteous thing in this movie. Righteous.
Like in Bruce Almighty, it's good, or that's how we crumble.
It's the beautiful like thing in that movie. They tried to do several in that movie with that, and the it's good. Like they tried to do multiple things where it's like, if we say it enough times, can we make this a pop culture thing? That's not how that works, guys.
It has to happen organically.
It has to happen organically, like over the years, where like something permeates the pop culture. Like for instance, a movie that wasn't a hit, but now people know what you reference. Like if you do the like everybody knows you're doing Office Space, just doing that, right? Like and that movie wasn't even a hit, but it naturally permeated through the pop culture for years, right? Where people understand what you're talking. You can't force it by just repeating a phrase over and over again in your movie and just trying to be like, can we make this a phrase? Can you guys say this over? No, it's not how that works.
Feel like this is also the WWE mindset of now, where it's like, hey, let's make the yeet.
Yeah. Well, they did that a lot in like the 2010s WWE too, where every other person was trying to like push a phrase, and only a few ever actually got through. And then the silliest ones, that were the ones that get through most of the time. The ones that you don't intend to become a thing, like what, like the Stone Cold, actually that he was only doing as like a character beat, and then it became like his whole persona. So sometimes
they made a whole DVD about the whole phrase.
Yeah. So yeah, sometimes it could backfire on you, but yeah. But I mean, just the John Heater stuff. Yeah, it seems a little forced in this movie where he's trying to like spit like lines that people will say later, even the one in the trailer where he's just like, I'm like 99% parched right now. It's like, what?
It's interesting because it came out around the same time as Mean Girls, who kind of like who made the joke about, hey, stop trying to make catchphrases happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's the thing. Yeah, that could have been a direct comment on what he's saying. Yeah, same guy. Yeah, stop trying to make righteous happen. It's not going to happen. So, what's funny is when I went back to this movie recently, Richie, I thought John Heater had a bigger role than he actually has. He's really only in like 3 scenes. He's in the one scene where he goes to like the bookstore for the first time, and then he comes to Ruffalo's apartment, to try to like feel out the place or whatever, and he's just bullshitting his way through it essentially. And then he checks in on him at the bookstore like one last time at the end of the movie. That's it. It really is like and John Heater type situation. Where they in the trailer and John Heater. Like he's not. I just remembered him having, I don't know, way more screen time than he actually did. But maybe I'm right. It's like a Mandela effect. I don't know where I thought he was.
Yeah, no, I thought that too. I'm like, oh, okay, he's just. I guess they credited him because he was a breakout at this moment. But there's a couple of character actors who probably get more. He'd definitely get more screen time than he does.
Yeah. So yeah, the plot kind of progresses where she eventually remembers, because of the knowledge that she suddenly has in that restaurant situation, that she figures she was a doctor. So they kind of visit, the nearby hospitals. They eventually find, some people that knew her, and find out that she's actually in a coma. And they go see her body, in the coma, and they find out that he kind of like grazes her hand and she actually kind of felt it. So he's like, oh, okay, maybe this is the key to like, getting me back up. So, but they know that she's got some kind of brain activity, something like that. But wouldn't you know, the family, basically is going to take her off life support. I think she's a vegetable and they're going to take her, off life support. So the plot kind of shifts to like, oh no, don't, convince her to not take her off life support, figure out how to revive her. So it gets like oddly serious for a little while where it's like they're gonna pull the plug on me. Don't let them pull the plug on me. It's like, geez, that got dark.
That's where the sister pulls a knife on. Like, no.
Oh yeah. When he's trying to like convince her with the different statements of like, oh, say this, say that, no, she's actually right here. She blah blah blah. She does, she knows about this. And she just thinks he's a creep, like a stalker. And she's like, get away from me. And she pulls a knife on him, freaks out on him. When he tries to confess, and but eventually, I guess like Donald Logue kind of is convinced by it, eventually, because
like, how many fingers am I put in my behind my back? He's flipping me off. Are you flipping her off?
Yeah, because he has to end up like kind of helping him pull like kind of a pseudo heist, to get in there.
How is he not in jail after this anyway?
No, here's the thing. Yeah, even if because she doesn't remember anything coming out of the coma, right? When she eventually does, and yeah, how does he not get detained immediately for trying to like abduct a body out of a hospital? I don't know.
This reminded me of, remember? Do you remember that scene in Patch Adams when they just randomly go in and steal medical supplies?
Yeah, and he's like laying under the thing and grabbing the supplies on top of him and stuff like. Yeah, they're trying to like sneak in and out of the hospital because this one's full on like. He's pushing her like through the hallways and trying to get in the elevators. He's like surrounded, like a guard appears over here. So he tries to go this way and a guard appears over here. He's spinning around like, Jesus Christ, you're going to hurt her in that damn bed. like, and you definitely detach something that she needs to live right now. Some kind of
the breathing tube. She's like, oh shit. And
the tubes or IVs or something. Yeah. You've definitely detached something out of her for sure.
And even she was like, okay, it's over though. We don't have a breathing tube.
Yeah.
This is probably the most. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. So no, yeah, her breathing tube comes off. But yeah, so but it's one of those things where, oh, the key was is they pull the breathing tube, and and he does the mouth to mouth thing, and I guess it's the power of love thing, Richie, in some of these movies. And then she kind of starts breathing back, but the twist is she returns and doesn't remember him at all. She doesn't remember any of the experiences, and she has no idea who this guy is. She only kind of recognizes the family. So, but I do remember in the theater when I saw this, I was like, oh, that sucks. I would hate to go through all that. And like you have like a spark and you think it's like going somewhere. And then all of a sudden, her real body, she wakes up and she's like, I don't know who you are. Like, get away from me. Like, I'm like, man, I would feel deflated too, for sure.
I should have paid, put more focus into the hot chick that my neighbor. Yeah,
the neighbor that was flirting with you at the door. Yeah,
I know her from stuff too. She's. Did you ever see that Larry the Cable Guy comedy called Witless Protection?
Oh God,
her name's Ivana something. Yeah, like she's like a Croatian American. Yeah, but. It's kind of, but yeah, she's been in a few things I've seen.
It says she's in Casino Royale, so she's in there somewhere. Yeah, she was in Paycheck. She's in Love Actually. She's in What's Your Number? Let's see. She's in Aloha apparently at some point. So she's been a steady worker. Yeah. I guess she's in an episode of Seinfeld as well. I'll have to go back and check that out. But yeah, so she's been a ton of television. She's a supermodel. So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. And he's a bit of like just it's like, hey, you wanna I locked myself out of the apartment. Can you fix this for me? Well, I can't. Can't you do it yourself? It's like, man, like it's right there. Like she's throwing herself at you. Come on.
Yeah. Some guys don't see the signs. They're a little naive. But yeah, so the way he kind of wraps up and gets her to sort of remember everything is he sets up this like garden on the roof that she had kind of always wanted to set up, and she comes up there, and eventually they sort of graze their hands together as he's like handing her some flowers or something like that. And then all of a sudden it comes, springing back to her. She remembers everything, and remembers the whole interaction and whatnot. And they kind of, do that. So yeah.
It could have potentially been a really long movie where it's like, okay, you think it's near the end, but it's actually the halfway point where she's got to remember.
They could have done the thing where they take like a half an hour for her to remember. Luckily it's like about 10 minutes. It's really not that long. That really would be, because it's not a traditional sort of rom-com where they work together and they're like not together. So, but this is kind of in one of the other romance movie would be like the 15-minute breakup is what we call it, that sort of thing. But it's not because of a fight. It's just because, she can't remember anything. Luckily they kind of speed past that. It's like, nah, we don't need to do that. Let's just get to the part where, she remembers.
You have the inevitable, like, it's usually the guy like, Charlie Browning down the street, with his head down, and it's like sad music. Yeah.
Well, the sad thing is him walking out of the hospital again when he should be being arrested, but he just like walks out with his head dejected. It's like, wait a minute, did you not see this guy spinning a hospital bed around, with a coma patient a minute ago? I mean, not to say he should like go to jail forever, but man, he would have at least been detained overnight at the jail. You know what I mean?
You got to at least question the guy.
Yeah, question the guy what the hell he's doing, how to get in here, why is he messing with everything? He took a woman off life support, for God's sakes. It's got to be some kind of crime, right?
And then the woman didn't recognize him. Like, Jesus Christ, that's alarm bells.
Yeah, so you were like some kind of psycho stalker just trying to steal the Yeah, it's it would throw up a few red flags. But I mean, again, the plot's not super heavy. I kind of described it, when I described people as like a mix of Ghost, the actual, Patrick Swayze movie, and sort of just kind of a pseudo regular rom-com. The only difference is they're not married at the beginning of the movie like they are in Ghost. You know what I mean? They're not already a couple. It's just kind of the other situation where if they were a you're trying to get together, and they, like you said, they hated each other at the beginning, and they kind of eventually sort of, fall for each other. But what makes most of these movies, Richie, I think work when they do work is the chemistry between the people. If they actually have chemistry, if they actually have a connection you could buy, if they have, a spark that you can actually see them like, being a couple by the end of the movie, that's when it works. When it doesn't work is when you watch a movie, like I don't know,
Love Hurts, like with Kiwi Kwan.
Love Hurts, or you watch that Ghosted movie with Chris Evans and Anya de Armas where they had negative chemistry in that movie. Like there's ones where they just don't have chemistry at all, and it doesn't fly.
Or even like I guess they thought they would have chemistry because they're both hot, but like with Margot Robbie and Colin Farrell in that Big Bold Beautiful Journey, they didn't have chemistry at all. It's just like,
I mean, I think sometimes it works, or you think it's gonna work and it just doesn't quite. I think Reese Witherspoon, though, she does have a knack for like these romance movies. She had done like Sweet Home Alabama.
I don't mind those movies. I like
that movie's okay. I saw it on. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember it being all right. Like again, what made that one work is the relationship with her and what's his name, Josh Lucas or whatever, right? So
it's always like I always get confused with Josh Lucas, Josh Jamal. He's like, I'm sure it's like the ultimate like rom-com guy, but I think it's Josh Lucas actually.
It's Josh Lucas, I mean, she had done, she's charming in the Legally Blonde movies, and she had done a couple of these types of things. Even her and Vince Vaughn and like Four Christmases, have chemistry. Like she as long as they have some kind of spark there, the movie can work even on the base level, even if it has some cliche stuff, whatnot. If that the core character stuff works, I think you can kind of carry the movie, which is why I keep coming back.
I get that's why, like, when Harry Met Sally works so well, because the Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal, their chemistry is amazing. You kind of you would forgiven for thinking that they were an actual couple at one point, but for every one of those, there is your Kiwi Kwan, Ariana DeBose, or I feel like there is such thing as like some in some movies they have like chemistry tests where they bring people in and be like, hey, let's see if they're and yes, there's a reason for that. Sometimes you need to see if people like kind of like will vibe, and sometimes they just skip that.
I'm convinced that sometimes the producers or the casting people are just like, all right, pull them out of a hat. Who's popular in movies right now? Who's doing what, or who do we need to put in a movie? All right, Kiwi Kwan, and all right, what's the other hat? All right, Ariana DeBose. Okay, let's do that. And without actually testing it and seeing if they have anything at all. Because like Kiwi Kwan, just a few years ago, him and Michelle Yeoh have great chemistry, and Everything Everywhere All at Once. And those, like, especially in those scenes where they're doing like kind of the movie things, the Hollywood things, like that stuff. Like they have really good chemistry. Like that can work, with certain people. But I think sometimes they just pull them out of a hat, or just like, all right, who do we got? That this person. All right, just whatever. the script can work on anybody, and it really can't. You got to have the right people.
Not everyone can have like not everything can be like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, where it's obvious like that was. The movie is whatever, but you could tell like that, they were definitely a couple at the time, Brad and Angelina. Like, this couple.
Well, even give an example of a movie I had never seen fully, but I watched it with Rhonda. That movie, The Ugly Truth, with Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler. When Katherine Heigl was kind of on her kick, but like I think that's one of the better ones because her and his scenes together are actually like really like electric together. You know what I mean? Like they bounce off of each other really, really well. Like their energy does. So I think that's when those movies break out and become those favorites, is because the lead characters actually have something on screen.
So it was definitely important, but and I'm sure we'll I think that makes and breaks a rom-com, and I'm sure we'll see negative examples of that probably in a worst of 2026 list, because they always pop up on worst of 2026 lists, those type of movies. But so we'll see that.
I don't think it's going to happen with Wuthering Heights. From all I've heard, they have great chemistry in that movie. Robbie and Jacob Elordi. So I don't think that's going to be the case with that one. So we'll have to wait for the the lower tier ones that eventually come out in random parts of the year. That pop out with no marketing. That just kind of come out.
There's one that's probably going to have little marketing. I noticed it was like, I think it's next month, straight to Amazon. It's like Method Man is a romantic comedy.
Oh God, that's not the guy I would think of for rom-com, but okay.
So maybe that, but So I think the ones that we're thinking of, like, we don't even know they're going to be movies. They're just going to come out and you're like, oh, okay, that's coming out. All right, cool, fair enough.
Speaking about movies I didn't know were coming out, I did not realize literally The Strangers Chapter 3 comes out tomorrow. It's had no marketing whatsoever. Holy cow.
Tomorrow there? Holy shit. I think it comes out tomorrow here too. Holy crap. Yeah.
Bro, they have done negative marketing for that movie. Like I posted in our group, I was like, and I know this is a little off topic, but it's kind of on topic of what we're talking about, but like, Jesus, they talk about like ripping the Band-Aid off and just get the movie out there, just get rid of it. We got, look, it's already in the can, just screw it, just get it out there, just get rid of it. We don't want this anymore. It's been a disaster. Just stop, just go away.
We didn't even want to release the second one. We didn't even release the second one because we had a window where Scream 11 Saw 11 didn't happen. So now we feel like we have to release the third one. Just release it now.
Just get rid of it, and people will figure out that it's out later when it pops up on streaming. They'll be like, "Oh, that movie came out." Yeah,
it'll probably get some attention when it's on people's worst 2026.
Because it's coming out the same weekend. There's another horror movie called Whistle that's coming out this weekend as well, and it's like, which has also had like almost no marketing either. So it's like, it feels like, hey, we got these movies in the can. What do we do with them? Just put them out on the same day. Who cares? Just people see them, whatever.
It's gonna be interesting.
Get them out, but get them out before Scream comes out, because Scream comes out at the end of the month, and that's gonna crush it. So just get them out there. Whatever. Maybe we'll make some money before Scream comes out.
February, which is supposed to be a love month, and this is all these horror.
Yeah, it's just nothing but horror movies right now, except for Wuthering Heights. But it's weird. And Dracula's out. Yeah, it's all kinds of. There's a lot of horror movies out right now. What the hell's going on in February? Yeah, when did February become a haven for horror? I don't know. I got to catch up on my horror, by the way. But yeah, so we'll kind of start wrapping up there. We got a little off topic, but we're just kind of we're having fun. We have tangents sometimes. Your overall thoughts real quick on Just Like Heaven, and we'll kind of wrap it up.
Yeah, it's I like it. It's a cute little movie, and like I said, Mark Ruffalo and Reese Witherspoon have great chemistry. It's really well written, quite funny, and charming parts, and I quite enjoyed it. I was going to mention also, sort of came around. It comes out around the same time as like there's a couple of movies with a similar title. When I looked at it, I'm like, oh no, not A Little Bit of Heaven with Kate Hudson. I think there's a movie with A Little Bit of Heaven, which is like a rom-com with it. I'm like, no, Just Like Heaven. It's a fun premise. It gets a bit it's convenient at times, but so is a lot of movies. But it's fun. It's a good way to spend was it 90 minutes? Probably.
No, it is breezy. It's like 95 minutes. So I mean, they don't overstay their welcome. I think it's fairly well paced. It doesn't. Like I said, we talked about some of the sequences where they don't waste a lot of time. Like he moves into the apartment, and within 5 minutes he's seeing Reese Witherspoon, pop in and out. They don't just drag it out. I mean, and a lot of the sequences, are very brisk. There's a comedy sequence here, comedy sequence there. They figure out information pretty quickly, from one to the other. So I literally looked up 95 minutes. Yeah. So I mean, they don't drag. Yeah, this would be excruciating if it was 2 hours. 2 hours and 10 minutes. I feel like what's a Big Bold Beautiful Journey, like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something.
That's why I like it. I'm just like, hurry up, hurry up, get over. You don't even love each other. You don't have chemistry. Get on with. Hurry up, finish.
Yeah, some movies you just want to wrap up. Yeah, no, it's just it's a little light, fun, yeah, engaging comedy. Is the plot, anything super original you haven't really seen before in one way or another? No, not really. But I think you could do way worse than a movie like Just Like Heaven. Like I said, the chemistry's there. Between the lead actors, the side characters are fun enough. Donald Logue is probably I actually like Donald Logue as the side character more than John Heater. You probably just should have left him as the side, the friend. Because there's always like the friend character, who the person has to spill their guts to or whatever, or figures it out. I think you could have cut the John Heater character out of the movie altogether. He doesn't really add a whole lot. It's not like he doesn't really like, he doesn't really like, it's not like he figures out or is able to figure out a way to communicate or bring her back or anything. He just kind of pops in. He goes like, "Oh, that's weird, bro. Yeah," and then like that's it. I feel like it was like stunt. You ever hear like stunt casting? I think it's stunt casting, kind of what it is. It's like, hey, we got this Napoleon Dynamite guy. Do we have a script we can throw him in? Yeah, put him in that movie. Like, shoot him in there because Donald Logue is actually the guy that like helps him and talks to him for most of the movie. You know what I mean? And physically helps him with stuff. So yeah, I feel like you could have kind of even cut the John Heater character and cut another 5 minutes out of the movie. Honestly, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. Considering I actually forgot I forgot he was in this movie until he popped up. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah. So yeah, on an unfortunate kind of down note, not to like make a weird transition, but somebody who has passed away recently. We talked about it off screen. Catherine O'Hara passed away, unfortunately, which really stinks because I think she was a lot of people kind of consider her like, the nostalgia mom, especially with the Home Alone stuff, things like that. A lot of people love Beetlejuice and, even going back to her SCTV days, we just saw her she was in and out of the John Candy documentary. If you watch that, she talked about John Candy, throughout that thing. She got her Walk of Fame, star, which was cool.
She was also had a decent role in that Seth Rogen show, The Studio.
She was, and wasn't she nominated for an Emmy for that, right? Something like that. Even recent,
I think so. Yeah.
Even this most recent Emmy. So yeah, I mean, still very much in the public eye. Yeah, doing a lot of TV work. She was on that Schitt's Creek show, which was a popular show. I mean, so she was still very, very much in the eye. She was one of the better parts I thought of Beetlejuice, like the sequel. I thought she was still a lot of fun. And that one when she popped up, still had a ton of energy. So we hadn't really talked about what we were gonna do for the tribute episode. I know we had kind of thought either Home Alone or Beetlejuice of the two, right? I feel like we kind of just did the holiday stuff around Christmas time and talked a whole lot of Home Alone. I was going to lean more towards Beetlejuice, but I was going to get your opinion. Yeah.
According to Brian Wikipedia Newsbar, apparently you guys did Home Alone when it was you and Jordan.
Did we already? I totally forgot about that. I guess.
I wasn't aware of. So I mean, like that leaves us Home Alone 2 on the table, but like,
but she doesn't have a big role. I feel like even in the sequel, it's not a lot.
So there's Beetlejuice. There's also, obviously, how often she's in After Hours, right? How often is she?
From the last time I watched it, I know she's one of the supporting characters, but I feel like she's one of the people that does. I think she's the one that's running around the movie trying to like get him in trouble near the end of the movie, from what I remember. We could do Best in Show. I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
That's the other movie I was thinking of. Or and she's also a voice in Nightmare Before Christmas, but that's also a holiday.
I would almost be inclined to do something like a Best in Show that I haven't revisited in a long time, but I remember really liking, mainly for the Fred Willard stuff, which is really funny in that movie. But like also just to see like a quirky Christopher Guest movie that we haven't covered anything like on this show. So I'd actually be down for that, and she is like one of the main characters in that movie, right? Like
yeah. She has a decent role, and I haven't seen it quite a bit, and it'd actually be technically would it be the I think it's like this would be the second time we've covered something to do with because isn't Christopher Guest in A Few Good? I think he's in A Few Good Men, right? Pretty sure he was.
Was he? Okay.
I think so. But anyway, that's just a weird tangent. But yeah, I would. I mean, I had thought about that. So it's like, I think it's almost that people expect you to do, like, your Home Alone
Beetlejuice or something. Yeah, right.
Which I understand, but like, but But like, yeah, like, and we'll probably get to Beetlejuice eventually because that's a big film. But I don't know, Benson Show. I just think I haven't so in quite a while, and I do like those mockumentary style movies. So I would punt for that. I would.
No, I think I actually own it on DVD. I think, and if not, I'll be happy to rent it, or whatever I need to do for the show. And I was actually going to propose. I'm going to be on vacation starting next Friday for about 8 or 9 days. So going in through the next week. If you wanted to do it just next week, just while it's still kind of on topic and before I go out of town, if you'd be okay with doing that. I know it's a little short notice, but as long as you can see the movie in time, So.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Eugene Levy, Fred Willard, Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, Jennifer Coolidge, Jane Lynch, Bob Balaban, Michael McKeon. I mean, Ed Begley Jr. Yeah, hell of a cast on that one. So yeah, and I remember liking it last time I watched it, but it's been a minute, so I'd be down to watch a little Best in Show. Yeah, I remember at bare minimum the Fred Willard stuff is hilarious. I do remember a lot of that stuff. Where he's the color commentary guy. Yeah, it's very, very funny.
Yeah. And I have time for a lot of when the butt of the joke is like pretentious kind of like sections of society, like when not a laugh out loud comedy, but obviously the menu was focus on food critics, and this is like the pretentious uppity dog people. So I'm always down for.
Hey, she's on IMDb. She's third billed as Cookie Flex, so I think that's good enough. Yeah, so
that's enough. Yeah.
You know what? Yeah, let's go off the beaten path and let's do a little Best in Show. I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's do that next week. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get one out of the way, and then maybe before and then we'll come back and maybe I'll get Jordan even off camera to spin the wheel for us or something like that. Factor, whatever it is, or even if you're on a show that I'm not on while I'm gone, if you want to spin, have him spin the wheel and I'll let you make an executive decision and let me know. So we'll figure it out. Yeah. But I'm down. Yeah, let's do a little Best in Show for Catherine O'Hara next week. Let's do it while it's on topic. I'm down. It'll be something I haven't revisited in a long time. I've been looking forward to that. So let's do it.
Yeah. No, that sounds good.
Sounds good. All right, let's do that next week. But let's wrap it up here because we got some Royal Rumble to talk about over on the Lonely Marks, and we'll get to that. So, what you got going on, Richie?
Like it's Lonely Marks, Royal Rumble. I was able to watch that on vacation.
Telling us it's on Netflix. So cool.
All right, cool.
Easy.
Catch me tomorrow. I believe will be on the coming of age tournament fights.
There's some wacky movies on there, by the way, that we had in the first episode as well. The first episode had some wacky ones that we didn't really consider coming of age, but there's some goofy stuff, i.e., Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Fair enough.
So we just disqualified a lot of those immediately. It's fine. So it'll just be a pretty easy tournament.
Fair enough. We'll be on that, and I've also got a match on Why We Love Horror coming up. I'm taping on Sunday with me versus Jeremy Potters, so check that out. And other than that, we are all on Tricky Spaces on JPS channel sometimes, and that's pretty much me for now.
And I'll be co-hosting. I'll at least be here for the tournament tomorrow night and for Tuesday before I head out of town. I'm going on a cruise with the family, so I'll be gone from next Friday to the kind of Saturday after that. So I'll be kind of off the Movie Hero Network. So we'll squeeze in this next week before I get out of here for Catherine O'Hara, and then I've got my next tournament match as well in ASAT against Will Cohen on Monday night. So we'll be taping that around 10 o'clock that night. So should be a good time overall. And catch us on the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast. I'll make sure I throw a link in the Movie Hero Network Facebook group. You can click over and check us out. Richie's back with us tonight, and we'll be wrapping up and discussing all the happenings of the Royal Rumble and all the fallout from that, and some of the things that came out of that. And we'll update the fantasy scores. Had a lot of big fantasy scores coming out of a big PLE where there's a lot of people involved, like the Royal Rumble. So I'll update all you guys on that. Maybe some roster swaps. We'll see what happens there. And yeah, we'll just kind of catch up on the news and have a nice casual show. So come join us over there if you're interested in the wrestling. But for now, yeah, we'll wrap it up there. So yeah, until next week where we do a little best in show in honor of Catherine O'Hara, we'll wrap it up there. So for Richie Goodacre, I am Austin Pez Howell, and we'll see you guys next time on The Wheel of Movies. Bye.